My best friend's boyfriend pretended to be her so he could seduce me?
I mean, did he look cute though?
I, 27 female, have a best friend of over 5 years, Brandy, 23 female. Last January, Brandy got a new boyfriend, Jeremy, 24 male. Brandy has a long string of awful and toxic boyfriends, so I was hoping to God that Jeremy would be different and that she would have a long-lasting and happy relationship with him. By the way, this comes from ActiveAd2343, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, for the first few months, that seemed to be the case. I would hear nothing but nice things about Jeremy from Brandy. And I never got any bad vibes from him when she introduced me to him. However, come April, things got a little weird. One day, I got messages from Brandy on Facebook asking me, can I ask you something? And be honest, do you find my boyfriend attractive? I was slightly taken aback, thinking maybe for some reason she had gotten the impression that I wanted Jeremy for myself. I responded in the best way I could, saying, he is indeed a handsome man, but he's yours, and I respect that. You're my best friend. I would never betray you like that. Then the conversation went in a direction I did not expect whatsoever. Brandy started replying with things like, oh, well, he says he finds you attractive. Would you ever be open to us sharing him? You've been such a good friend to me. I think you deserve a little affection. Plus, if I kissed him after he kissed you, it would feel like I was kissing both of you. That would be pretty hot, to be honest. Brandy and I are both bi, for context. Now, I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to relationships, and polyamory is something I've felt interest in. But Brandy? That seemed very unlike her. She gets very insecure and sometimes borderline jealous in her relationships. So naturally, I was utterly flabbergasted to see her suggesting this. And it took me minutes to compose myself enough to type a reply. Well, if you're really sure you're comfortable with it, I'm open to the idea, but I would prefer to get to know him better as a friend first and see where things go from there. She agreed to this and then proceeded to offer to send me underwear pics of Jeremy. I politely declined as lewd pics aren't really my cup of tea. She then asked if I could send an underwear pic of myself, which I also politely declined. She didn't seem to press the subject further after that, and things went back to normal for a while. Jeremy did start messaging me a little more frequently on Facebook after this, but at first he didn't say anything flirty, so I didn't think much of it, and figured he just wanted to get to know me better. Then one day, a couple of weeks later, he said to me, can I be honest? You're beautiful. I feel like I'd be the luckiest guy in the world if I ever got to kiss you. At this point, I was under the impression that Brandy was encouraging him to flirt with me and still hoped for us to polydate in the future. So I thanked him and flirted back a little. Nothing hot and heavy, just a little back and forth of compliments, basically. Flash forward another few weeks, Jeremy, Brandy, and I all went down to our local pool together. I was debuting a new swimsuit at the time and could feel both of their eyes on me. So I made a lighthearted remark about giving both of them permission to admire my booty, and they seemed to both get a chuckle out of this. Lo and behold, after the pool closed and they went home, I got messages from Jeremy saying things like, I really was staring at your booty in that swimsuit. It turned me on so much. I responded by simply thanking him for the compliment and making a playful remark about how I was glad he liked what he saw. He then made a proposition that surprised me a bit. He asked if I wanted to meet up and hang out one-on-one with him. I was still feeling very open-minded about this whole thing, but I was not expecting it to move this fast. Still, I reasoned that maybe some alone time with him would help me give an idea of how things could go and what it would be like. So I accepted his offer. I was out running errands at this time, so we met up at the grocery store I was at and then went back to my place. On the ride there, I asked him more than once, have you talked to Brandy about this? Are you sure she's okay with this? He assured me that he had and that she was, so I took him at his word and didn't press the issue any further apart from saying, she's one of my best friends, I don't want to do anything that would hurt her. When we got inside, he asked me for a hug, which I granted him. We embraced for a few moments, and then he gently lifted me up while remarking, you're the perfect size, you know that? I felt myself blushing and giggling at this, and I started really liking the idea of being more than friends with him, and by extension, Paula dating him and Brandy. We then went over to the couch together and started talking and cuddling. He told me he loves both me and Brandy and wishes that he could marry both of us. I told him that this idea sounded lovely to me too. We continued cuddling and making small talk. After a few minutes, he told me he had to get back home, but he asked if he could have a kiss before he left. I felt comfortable with that at this point, so I kissed him.
Can I kiss you, future double wife? We want to get married. Can I kiss you for the first time, though?
So weird.
Were you guys 10 years old?
He seemed
crazy.
It sounds like a 10-year-old relationship.
Yeah.
And one day, I'm going to marry you, and I'm going to marry her, because you guys, I love you both.
Yeah, he asked if I thought he was cute, and I said I thought he was the most handsome guy around.
And then we watched Frozen.
I really thought that things were building up to a wholesome polycule for us three. I continued regularly hanging out with them both, and Jeremy escalated his flirty messages to me. It was a bit much at times because I'm not a highly spicy person by nature, but since I was under the impression that this was all happening with Brandy's awareness and consent, I didn't feel anything worse than slight awkwardness about it. Then one day in September, Brandy messaged me something that started making me realize that things had not been what they seemed. She asked, "Has Jeremy been inappropriate with you?" I asked her what she meant, and she replied, like flirting and trying to kiss you. I told her, if you're not comfortable with it anymore, I'll put a stop to it. She wrote back that she had never been comfortable with it, and that lately she had strongly suspected that Jeremy was trying to hook up with her female friends behind her back. I told her I had gotten texts from her in the past that seemed to convey a very different message, and that we should meet up to talk about it ASAP.
Wait, was her saying that it's like, if you kiss him and then I kiss him, it's like we kissed and that's hot? Was that not in person?
That was a text. That's what I'm saying, Dakota. They sent one text about this. Why do you think I was so upset? They sent one text about this. And OP was just like full steam ahead.
Are you my nebulizer? What are you?
I had to do a little Mongolian throat singing really quick because that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
The whole time I thought that was in person, which is why I was like, what do you mean? She literally told you that you could like, she wants to double kiss you guys.
That's why I was saying.
Oh, no.
Dakota just didn't understand. I was like, why are you so? Yeah, do you have any new thoughts based off of your new findings?
Well, yeah, I guess you should talk. You should make sure that this is a face-to-face
Why do you think we've been saying talk to Brandy first?
Because I was like, we talked to her once. Once you say that to somebody, it's like, that makes it pretty clear it's okay.
Oh,
but I thought that was in person.
If it was in person, I would have been
No,
like,
you don't have to
yeah.
triple check if someone tells you to your face.
No.
Kiss my boyfriend so I can kiss you.
Over one text?
Yeah, okay.
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now Dakota's on the same page. I described the contents of the text I'd received from her Facebook account that talked about wanting to share Jeremy. She said she didn't recall sending any such messages. I asked her if she was maybe wasted at the time she sent them, or perhaps just really spicy. She said either was possible. So she started looking for the texts in question to see if they would jog her memory. When she went to do so, they had been deleted from her chat history. That was when things started to get more and more suspicious for me. I pulled up the texts on my phone and showed them to her. She told me she was positive that she never sent any such messages. It became pretty apparent to me that the most likely explanation was that Jeremy had been the one to send those messages from her account, and my heart sank. I felt sick to my stomach. Still, I couldn't muster up the strength to come right out and say this to her, so I just asked her, "Do you have any idea who could have done this? I don't think it was a random hacker. It seems like it was someone who knows you and had a reason for doing that."
Why are
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Everyone here's an idiot other
You're
than
an
Jeremy, which
idiot.
is insane.
You're an idiot. Jeremy has already kissed you, has already hung out with you one-on-one, has already been flirting with you, told you that he wants to marry you, and you went, is there anyone who could have sent those texts? Shut up, you idiot. I don't like you.
It
I'm
truly
angry.
could be anybody.
I'm angry. I'm angry at you. I take it back. I double take it back. You're once again the a-hole. I hope that would push her to figure it out on her own, but instead she blamed it on a mutual female friend of ours that she had been arguing with a lot lately. The possibility of it being Jeremy didn't seem to occur to her in the slightest. Still not having the heart to tell her, you suck, OP. I just went along with her theory of it being the female friend. You suck. Since then, I have stopped reciprocating Jeremy's flirting, but I have not confronted him about it, nor have I told Brandy what really happened. You suck. You're an a-hole. Shortly after all of this, Brandy seemed to get over her doubts about Jeremy, and they seem happy and stable in their relationship. I have so many conflicted feelings about this. For one, I feel like a fool for not being more suspicious early on. You are. I was going through some pretty emotionally exhausting personal issues in my home life at the time, so perhaps that clouded my judgment a bit. I guess I was craving comfort and affection more than I realized, and it led me to jump at the chance to receive it from Jeremy. Secondly, I feel like I should have confronted Jeremy and or told Brandy about the full extent of what happened. By the way, I gotta tell you about the full extent of episodes that you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, and just search them up.
Just do it.
Just search up OK Storytime.
Just search for OK Storytime.
I'm so
or
angry
we
I
will
can't
come
even
and
speak
get
right.
you.
There's a little bit left to this story. You can't convince me that you were in the wrong headspace to know that what you were doing was wrong or what that you are doing now is wrong. You can't convince me. You're an a-hole.
Well, I think I can give you that. At first, you probably were like,
yes, at
even
first,
though
at
I
first.
know if I like, maybe like you got those messages, and then Jeremy's like, let's hang out, and then you hang out and you like it, and even though part of you is like, oh, I know Brandy definitely probably wouldn't like this, you're like, well, she did send me that message, but then at some point you need to be like, okay, wait, he's moving a little freaky,
Yeah.
and then you need to tell her.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're
being
I'm trying
a
to think of
coward.
like a pop culture reference to compare you to, but you're just like, you're Benedict Arnold. You're a betrayer.
Yeah, you're a little turncoat.
You're
A little turncoat.
and it's like, you know what you're doing.
Yes.
You were on her team, and then you were like, I don't think this is gonna work out. Let me just switch sides.
You literally said, she came to you. You find out the truth. You find out that Jeremy has been cheating on your friend Brandy with you. You find out that you've been played. Instead of telling Brandy all this, you go, oh, maybe it was someone else. Maybe it was someone else. And when she goes, oh, yeah, I guess so. This woman is so thoroughly gaslit that she didn't even think, she thought it could be a possibility that she sent those messages to you. And then you, instead of being like setting her straight and being like, you know what? No, it was Jeremy. This happened. Yada, yada. You gaslit her further.
You have to go into the woods. Who do you go with, Jeremy or Baramy?
Baramy.
Yeah, I would take the Baramy.
I would take the Baramy because
I'd
Jeremy
take the Baramy
sucks.
every day.
What made me so hesitant to do so is that, again, Brandy seemed to get over her doubts about Jeremy shortly after all this and has been very happy with him since. Is it worth ruining this over what was possibly a one-off incident that could be chalked up to young and stupid? On top of all of that, with how long it's been since then, is it even relevant to their relationship anymore? I find myself continuing to hope that this can just stay buried and they can continue being happy together.
Ew, gross.
Don't like you.
Gross.
I don't like you.
You are the thing that keeps people awake at night.
Yeah. My best friend and I hooked up, but now she's acting like it was nothing.
Because it was.
My best friend and I finally hooked up. We're both straight females. I have never considered that I was bi or sapphic at all until her. By the way, this comes from 12/26/2014 throwaway. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do. Early 2013. Opie says, I was a junior in college. I was having a great time being single, just partying and hanging out with my girlfriends, seeing guys occasionally. School was going well. My life was awesome. I started dating one of my friends around this time. He was my age, a really chill and nice guy that everyone liked. He was good looking and the spicy sleep was good. He was the first guy I had really liked in a long time, and I was ecstatic. Here was someone I could go to parties with, but also enjoy a quiet night in with. He loved me for me. We were best friends. There was this girl 1 year younger than me who hung out in this group I sometimes partied with. She had a boyfriend she had been dating for over a year. They were such a cute couple, both athletic, blonde, super nice people. I would make small talk with her occasionally. I thought she was cool and wanted to be her friend. It was just like a friend crush, like I have and everyone else does with other cool people, guys or girls. One thing to note, I was a chubby, nerdy, weird kid growing up. I always felt weird looking and excluded from the cool kids. I didn't really lose my weight and start wearing clothes that fit me well until college. I never thought anyone like her would even be interested in being friends with me. One night in May of that year, my boyfriend and I ran into this girl, let's call her Layla, and her boyfriend along with some other people. It was a huge party and we were all getting super wasted. We ended up at Layla's boyfriend's apartment with a bunch of people, and to be honest, I don't even remember what we were doing there. Suddenly, Layla was next to me and she grabbed my face and gave me a short kiss on the lips. Her boyfriend said to my boyfriend, our girlfriends are making out. They were playing video games or something and didn't really pay attention. Layla suddenly felt the need to leave the room and grab me with her. We walked outside the apartment and suddenly she was making out with me and grabbing me. I reciprocated, extremely confused, but then stopped her and asked what she was doing. Honestly, this part is so blurry and confusing. But the basic story is she told me she wanted to F me, that she'd had spicy sleep dreams about me, and that she didn't want to F her boyfriend anymore. She tried to touch me and all this stuff during that time, and I was in complete shock. I had never imagined this even happening and was beside myself with guilt and confusion. I somehow brought her back to her boyfriend's apartment and left. I told myself I would talk to her the next day because, geez, I didn't even know how to process this. The next day I talked to her about it and she apologized over and over, saying she remembered attacking me, but didn't remember much. I told her a little about what she said and she apologized and denied that she was attracted to the same gender or had any of those feelings at all. She seemed believable, but this was all too crazy, right? Well, I did find out later that she had a history of blackouts and going crazy while wasted, saying all kinds of wild things. So I came to the conclusion that everything she said wasn't true. The thing is, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Did we tell our boyfriend? Did we tell your boyfriend?
Of course not, because that would lead to consequences, Sophia. Are you crazy?
I had a great boyfriend and a great life in front of me, but I just wanted to be around her. Be around her, be with her. I didn't know what I was thinking. This is such a long story, so I'll summarize the longer periods here. We became close friends, very close, because we had been through a lot of the same stuff in our lives that most of our friends hadn't. We never kissed again or anything like that. She had a couple of wasted blackouts where she did ridiculous things, which told me even more that the whole night in May was crazy. And anything like that would never happen again.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Thing is, she's so unpredictable and kind of a loose cannon. I could never predict what she's going to do or how she feels. She ended up breaking up with her boyfriend in early 2013 and went on a wild streak, partying and sleeping with different guys, only a few of whom I've heard about. We had a falling out around that time because I stopped partying and just hung out with my boyfriend while she went off and partied.
Why does it matter? Only a few of whom I've heard about.
So, yeah.
Why?
I don't know, that was
Okay.
weird.
Well, so what?
You're judging her, and
you
I know why.
Are you supposed to know everyone that she's boinked?
We didn't talk for a while. I missed her as a friend, but I really wasn't in the mood to party and do all that stuff like she was. We just didn't connect anymore. My boyfriend then broke up with me that summer after we graduated and he moved out of state. I was depressed. I loved him so much. Fast forward to a couple of months ago, we somehow ran into each other and decided to go get happy hour. It was great, like no time had passed. We talked for hours. I remembered why I loved being her friend. We just connected on a level other people didn't. We made plans to go out another night, which was this past week. It was normal, just hanging out with another girlfriend.
It was totally normal. Just hanging out with another girlfriend who's not my girlfriend.
I went to her place to pregame, and we ended up going to some bars later on, meeting up with some friends. We had a lot to drink.
Okay, I think that needs to be discussed. I think your friend
Yeah.
has a drinking problem.
Yeah.
And it needs to be
if she blacks out multiple times. Like this is a common thing for her.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about that.
Dog, that shouldn't be, I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think that
You've
it's
got
a
like
little
a
bit,
small window where that's
Yeah.
maybe socially acceptable
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the
they're in
States. I don't know how
college.
it's like in Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's really, really bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, like for your brain, terrible. But I think when you're blacking out to the point where you don't remember what you did, and you're doing like crazy stuff that you say like you wouldn't do normal. I don't know. Like
If I had a friend that
A
was
lot?
blacking out consistently, I wouldn't be drinking around them.
No.
I'd be like, hey, let's
Hey.
do something else.
yeah,
Or like if they were just like pounding like fifth, sixth, I'm like, hey, whoa, stop. We need to
Whoa.
stop.
yeah.
We're done, right?
And this part is blurry, but somehow we ended up in her bed at the end of the night, making out and fooling around. I honestly wish I remembered how the heck we ended up there, but I have no clue. She doesn't remember either, apparently. We talked and effed. I don't know how sapphic spicy sleep works, but we did a lot of stuff according to r/spicy sleep. It was spicy sleep all night until 5 a.m. I remember her wondering out loud if she was in love with me and how she always knew this was going to happen. She is. I felt like I finally knew what it meant to have spicy sleep with someone you love and how it's so much better. It was just so comfortable, but so thrilling and amazing. I told her that I was afraid she wouldn't remember this in the morning, and she told me she would, and that she wasn't even wasted anymore.
And then she was like, wow, last night was a blue swirl emoji. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember nothing.
Next morning, she did remember. I think that morning after was more amazing than the first night. We effed for a while. Hours. We laid around and talked all day. We both talked about how we could never do this with any other girl and how we both liked men. So this was strange that we were enjoying this. That is, yeah. yeah
Hey,
okay.
I think I've got some news for you.
I
You
just-
like
yeah.
ladies as well.
Yep. That's just called being bi. I just keep thinking back when we were holding each other. She would softly say, I really like this. I really liked it too. It's been 6 days since that day. She had to go home for the holidays. Her family lives a few hours away, and she hasn't been back yet. We've barely spoken since. She's just so unpredictable. I don't know what to expect. Is it going to happen again? Is she never going to speak to me again? I don't know. I just don't know. And if it did happen again, what would we be? I don't even want to think about it. I'm not a sapphic. I don't think I am, at least. I have never wanted to be with another girl. I don't understand this at all. OP, you don't have to label yourself.
Aw.
Labels are only if you're comfortable with them and only if you think you need them. Otherwise, you can just be
Yeah.
yourself and you can like this person. You don't have to put a label on it.
Yeah,
on yourself, at
OP's
least.
genuinely confused. That's
Yeah.
kind of sweet.
Yeah, this is the first time they've ever had this like interaction with it. Like it I'm sure that is incredibly confusing. But you don't have to label it. Labels are for other people and sometimes
Yeah.
for yourself if you want them. I don't even want to know what anyone else thinks. I like to think I'm usually a very logical and rational person. But right now, I don't want to listen to reason. I think I'm in love for the first time, and I'm afraid. And I'm afraid that you guys won't listen to full episodes of stories just like this. It's so easy. You can just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search OK Storytime. There
That's
is a
right.
little bit left to this story. OP,
Happy holidays.
I think you're going to be scared. Your friend's going to be scared because this is all very new for you both. You're figuring yourself out.
we do. Oh, never mind. Didn't done nothing.
You're figuring yourself out.
If you,
The Thomas says it's like OP has never heard of bi or pan people. I think there is this fear. I think when you think something about yourself and you've kind of gone your whole life thinking about yourself in a certain way, and then something abruptly changes your entire view of who you are. I think like you might know about the terms of like bi or pan and stuff, but you've never related to that.
yeah.
And so then it's like, whoa, who am I?
I just think it gets a little confusing, and everybody's just a little gay. Everybody's a little gay. Everybody's got a little bit of it in them, just a little bit.
I think let yourself figure yourself out. Take time. Let her figure herself out. And you know what? I think go into it knowing that you guys might not be ready for a relationship, but you also might be. I just want her in my arms again. It's a feeling that makes me on top of the world, like my dream for the past year and a half. The impossible dream that drove me crazy really came true. But at the same time, it makes me want to cry because I don't know what's going to happen. and if she's going to feel the same when she comes back. I wish I knew what she was thinking, but she never tells me. I'm so scared. I feel like she might even just never talk to me again. I don't know. And the only way that you'll find any answers is if you try and talk to her.
You gotta talk to her. Our friend has disgusting habits, and it's ruining our home.
Ew, stinky.
My fiance and I have a friend that comes over for a movie night every Saturday, and it's gotten to the point where we're just dreading it every week, but don't know how to tell him we don't want to do it anymore. By the way, this comes from user John Paul, but spelled with an O, a 0, and a 1. Because they're cool. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And all of us are here to give you good advice, goofily. Because we don't have all the answers. All right, so we're little goofballs. And if you would do anything different from us, why don't you just tell us in the comments? Anyway, OP says, first of all, the food. We usually order food for movie night. Early on, I decided it would be fair if we bought 2 weeks and he bought 1 because there are 2 of us and 1 of him. So that worked for a little while, but lately I feel like he's been taking advantage of it. We used to just get a couple of pizzas, but he would eat an entire pizza himself and then want us to order him a side of cheesy bread too, just for him. And then he'd start eating our pizza too. And I know this sounds petty, but it's been getting to me for so long that I just have to say it.
He always takes the biggest slices.
So we switched to getting Chinese instead. But that's even worse. My fiance and I order an entree, and he orders 2. Every time he orders twice as much food as we do. So even though it should be fairly split based on how often we buy, it's not. Based on how much he gets. When it's his turn to buy the food, he complains that what we get is expensive while ordering twice as much at twice the cost. This last weekend, we ordered l'Italian. My fiance and I split a nice big house salad, an entree, and an appetizer that came to $24. He wanted an extra large pizza to himself and an order of cheesy bread that came to $30. And I know it's not a money thing. He works from home and gets paid for 40 hours a week for what he admits is about 20 minutes per week of work. He lives in a condo that his dad pays for. So except for food, his money is entirely disposable. He obsessively collects Lego sets, movies, and video games. And he goes to the movies at least once a week and sees everything that comes out multiple times. He has no reason to take advantage of us like that. I know he could just cook. We've tried. We're vegetarians and he doesn't eat vegetables. It just doesn't work. He just picks around and wastes food, or he'll bring and eat through an entire box of Cheez-Its, an entire box of Wheat Thins, and get crumbs everywhere. Okay, so this is a good segue into the eating. Yeah. The guy is 36 and is the only person of that age I know that chews with his mouth open, and it's bad. Schmackin' and shalappin' and shaloppin' and shalurpin'. I'm admittedly a little nuts about mouth noises already, but this is totally over the top. I know toddlers with better manners. He tends to get crumbs or rice in his beard, which he picks out and throws on the floor, and then grinds into the carpet like we won't notice. My fiance cleans for hours every Friday, and then come Saturday, he makes a week's worth of mess in his one spot just from the eating. I can't believe he's made it this far in life without someone teaching him basic manners. And then there's the hygiene. He just doesn't bathe, and when he does, he wears dirty clothes. It didn't used to be quite so bad, but lately the smell is overwhelming. We've taken to putting a sheet on the couch and still have to spray it down with Febreze as soon as he leaves. And he always wants a hug goodbye. He's incessantly argumentative and pedantic. He'll argue and try to make you feel stupid and correct you over every little thing. We watched The Revenant, and I said something like, Leo's performance in such and such a movie reminds me of his performance in this one.
And he says, no, such and such came first, so his performance in this movie reminds you of his performance in the other one.
Who cares? Is it really worth correcting someone over something like that? He acts like we're idiots if we don't know the super obscure comic book reference a movie is making, or if we can't name the last 5 movies an actress was in. He doesn't say stuff to be informative. He says it in a combative, condescending way. You can't just talk to the guy without him talking down to you. And then there's the actual movie watching. Because he's seen everything 3 times opening weekend, he's terrible about spoilers. We watched Spectre a while back, and in the first 5 minutes of the movie, he explained the entire plot, every twist, while talking over the dialogue and simultaneously slurping his way through pizza.
This guy's the worst person on the planet.
And my food's coming at 9 o'clock.
This-
Joke's on you, Dakota.
This is like we'll see.
This is like putting yourself through torture.
This is
But
like
like
if-
willingly.
if
Like you're
every
willingly
Saturday,
putting yourself through this.
Every Saturday, someone knocked on your door, came in, and smashed all of your objects with a hammer, and then left.
And
you're
you
like,
called them-
see
you
you
and-
next
yeah.
week.
And you pay them. And then you paid them. You said, hey, here's $100. Please come next week.
And the only, like, he doesn't force his way in. You open the door.
Open the door.
Every Saturday, you open the door.
And you say, oh, you missed a spot.
Yeah.
You missed a spot. Can you smash that? Thanks.
And can you grind that into the carpet for me? Thank you.
What is he bringing other than a headache, a stink, and more of a mess into your house?
I don't know.
We watched the most recent Spider-Man movie a couple of weeks ago, and he referenced an important plot point that happens at the end of the second one before the movies even started, ruining both of them, and it wasn't his fault because we should have read the comics and known. He talks along with the dialogue, but always a few seconds in advance, so every turn, every bit of suspense or curiosity is ruined. The alternative isn't much better. A couple of weeks ago, he fell asleep at the start of the movie and snored loudly through the entire thing. As if all of that wasn't enough, my fiance just told me she's been covering up when he comes over because every time she wears a skirt or shorts, she catches him just blatantly staring at her. He's the kind of person who always acts very proper and respectful of women, so I never suspected he'd oogle her. But apparently, it's been so bad that my fiance no longer feels comfortable wearing what she wants in her own house. So why can't we just say no more movie nights and just end it? Well, we feel bad for him. And I no longer feel bad for you.
Yeah, this is your own fault now.
With the exception of Saturday Magic at the comic book shop, we're pretty much his only social interaction. He finally moved out of his dad's house last year and is very uncomfortable being out on his own. All of his other friends have moved on. There's one that comes to see him a few times a year, another he sees once a month for fight night, but that's it. We live 5 minutes away from him, and he always tells us how much movie nights mean to him, and we just feel too bad to take that away from him. He's our Bill Dauterive.
Who's that?
I don't know who that is. But look, dude, honestly, at this point, and we had to do this with this stinky man who came to our shop.
But we
You
only
gotta
did it.
pull this guy aside and go, hey, this is gonna be an uncomfortable combo.
Oh.
How dare you?
No.
How dare you?
This sounds more like the
That
comic-
man had a traumatic brain injury, okay?
Yeah, unless this guy has a
Uh,
traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, anyways.
Bill Dauterive from King of the Hill.
Yeah, no. Everyone loves Bill, okay? There's nothing wrong with him. He's just
He's giving off.
he's a good guy.
What's the comic book guy? Is it his name just comic book guy from The Simpsons?
That's who he's giving off, yeah.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, comic book guy. You actually should have known that was the plot line because you should have read issue 24 through 37 of an obscure comic only I know about.
That was another good impression.
Yeah, thank you. I'm full of them. They haunt me in my waking hours. You gotta sit this guy down and be like, look, dude, we want to keep doing this, but like, you have some serious changes you need to make
Yeah.
to just like all of it, you
Yeah.
know? And yeah, my cat's name is Karen says, OP's enabling him. You are.
Yeah,
You're making him think he doesn't need to change at all.
Also, I think like this idea that it's better to hang out with people you actively hate because you feel bad that they might not have anyone else is kind of hurting them more because you actively hate them and you're complaining about them. Like that doesn't benefit them to be around people that actively hate them and are only hanging out with them because they pity them.
Yeah. Okay. Here comes the next reasoning. So why not just confront him with the list of behaviors that are driving us nuts? I've already mentioned he's very argumentative. He's the kind of person who just can't be wrong. He gets very defensive and very emotional over things that really don't require an emotional response. melodramatic and unstable. All of the things that are bothering us are pretty personal, embarrassing things. And I just can't imagine bringing them up with him without him being really hurt, defensive, flying off the handle, or probably all three. And by the way, you can listen to 300 bajillion full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just go and search OK Storytime. OK Storytime right here, right there. And you can listen until, I don't know, probably until this guy gets his act together.
It's going to take a long time.
That's going to take a long time. You just got to give this guy the cold water. And if he goes, you guys are the worst, you go, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but you're not coming over to our house anymore. And I really, I hope that you find the will to change within you. Because
There's
you need to change.
there's taking like pity and like, oh man, that sucks, but like, boy, oh boy, this is not your fixer-upper.
But it's hard. It can be hard, dude, because like when you
get it, you
get
feel
in this
bad.
deep with somebody like that, and then you try to pull off, they can hit you with a lot of stuff where it's like now you're worried about their safety and well-being because it's like, oh, I'm not sure. It's a sticky situation to be in on an emotional level, but
It's just not your, unless you're going to like actively change anything about the situation. I don't know. Stop complaining about
you
it.
just got to sit him down and be like, dude, you got to hear me. You got to hear me right now. And I don't want you to get emotional about this because it's only coming from a place of just I want to help you. This is a place of wanting to help you. And like, again, like I hate this. I hate that I say this. It's still not a good thing, but like this is the kind of guy who sees that like alpha man stuff and like could maybe actually use it. Where it's like that hard shift in mentality.
Well, but it's not.
I'm not saying it would be positive, but it's like it would be better than this.
I don't know. He's already being like, he's like leering at OP's fiance. I
No,
think
that's not good. I just mean in terms of like taking
think you
care
just
of your
wanna give him-
hygiene,
yeah.
not grinding food
That's
into the
different
carpet.
than the alpha man stuff. That's
taking
just like be a competent man.
responsibility for your own life.
Yeah, I think
Like-
at this point I'm a little bit of you, OP, because you're putting your fiance in a situation where she is actively being made uncomfortable, like where she doesn't feel safe.
Ay. I don't even know how to approach thinking about considering maybe having that kind of talk with someone. But it's really getting to us. We dread movie night every week as much as he looks forward to it. I have a very stressful job, so I need my weekends to be peaceful and relaxing, but I lose a good 5 or 6 hours out of every one because of movie night. I just don't know what to do at this point, and we have some comments. I couldn't imagine intruding like that, especially if you have a wife. It's different if it's a bachelor pad, but this is your humble abode. The next time it's movie night, why not just say you have plans for dinner with another couple and are going to have to cancel? Then the next week, make up another excuse why you can't do it.
These
Just
people
be
are
a coward.
cowards.
Whatever. OP replies, he does have OCD, anxiety, and depression, which I relate to all too well, but I don't act like that. And that reminds me of another thing. Depending on which meds he is or isn't taking, he can be either viciously grumpy or manic to the point that it makes my fiance uncomfortable, talking about wanting to F every woman that comes on TV. This guy's 36, has had one girlfriend his entire life, and slept with her once and still hasn't recovered. We think what he really needs is a woman's touch.
No, he doesn't.
But he refuses to put himself out there or make any changes that would attract one.
Don't.
And that
put
is
a-
the end of that story.
This man needs to go to therapy and figure himself out.